same time, just ask about it. Jan does one. Actually, you make a lot of sense. By forcing the bishop to be already e4 and this transition goes in, you avoid all of those arch lines with c5.
Yeah. This move would make sense because let's say you think you have some idea where it goes, but you avoid all the other queens again to finalize, including the towers that we mentioned in the second game that are so annoying. The thing about this is that it's not just the goes. Of course, d5 is a perfectly good move.
Yes.
Well, if that's the area where it goes.
A thing is not so tenacious of its name that we cannot change it to a better one. There are things that do not need a name. Sometimes a name is only used to designate itself.
Position that you played for bishop to g5, and this is played by against the in the single cup. Don't remember which year, maybe it was 2017. Maybe it was 2019. When the single cup which did one. In fact, I think it might have been 2019.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
And basically like h4 and c5, and this can go into very, very sharp period, either after e3 or after rook c1. For example, I think the crossing game, if I remember correctly, was rook c1 here. C takes d4, knight takes d4, d5, c takes d5,
Yes.
g5, bishop to g3, and queen takes d5. And here Nisus came up with some rather sharp stuff. He was basically testing Ding with e3. Queen takes a2, so obviously black is grabbing the pawn. But the king is a bit airy, and then
A thing meets its picture, a thing meets its name. Now and then the picture meets the name. Sometimes the name of a thing usurps its picture. A name can replace a thing. A picture can replace a name.
preparation made a draw. So I don't know, would Jan have gone for some lines here? I generally think that white can't really create too much here.
And this perhaps is going to be a question that will be answered in the next game in which white is used by Jan, in which Jan has the white pieces, because this does seem like a direction in which he got a lot of information already. We mentioned at the press conference that he was not necessarily not ready, but he was very surprised by 1d4. He was expecting Jan's main weapon, as he framed it. He said Jan is generally a natural 1e4 player. Quite surprised that he would essay 1d4, and Jan saying this move 3d5 and not the
A thing suggests there are other things behind it. Nothing implies there is a relationship between a thing and its picture. The names for different things do not distinguish between those things. Things tessellate. A thing is not so tenacious of its name that we cannot change it to a better one. There are things that do not need a name. Sometimes a name is only used to designate itself.
Obviously, white has a lot of moves and you're not going to predict exactly where your opponent is going. I would assume that Ding has prepared d5 as their available line. And because I think that if you're surprising, you still don't just start playing a little more, right? You stick to your guns. It's a world championship match. You have your preparation that's been taken once. You stick to what you without prepared. So
A thing meets its picture, a thing meets its name. Now and then the picture meets the name. Sometimes the name of a thing usurps its picture. A name can replace a thing. A picture can replace a name.
Transition to a win zone. So it's definitely also possible because you always play win zone, right? It's you know that it's a good line, and even if you haven't prepared for much, you can still play it.
In dead life, the names are the same stuff as the pictures. We see the pictures and names in dead life differently. Sometimes the names are of clear-cut things, and the pictures are of ambiguous things. A thing suggests there are other things behind it. Nothing implies there is a relationship between a thing and its picture. The names for different things do not distinguish between those things. Things tessellate.
It's still like it gives us a choice of putting lines to play c5, d5. I mean, basically all the lines are good. So you need to compare this at such a high level, such a level of confidence, and that so in dead life, the names are the same stuff as the pictures. We see the pictures and
and names in dead life differently. Sometimes the names are clear-cut things, and the pictures are ambiguous things. Any shape can replace the picture of a thing. A thing does not do the same job as its name or its picture. Ambiguous figures are as perfectly necessary as clear-cut ones, or other times the opposite.
It's not revealing much to say. I've researched it. So
Any shape can replace the picture of a thing. A thing does not do the same job as its name or its picture. Ambiguous figures are as perfectly necessary as clear-cut ones, or other times the opposite.
many essentially sort of around those games he plays a lot. And another thing is you could also play a room set, for example, 4 on E3, Castle, you can now play A3. And this is what we want to play a lot. Efficiency like EC3. This one I played with some success. In the only Rapid Blitz, I played the Giants and some other games getting winning position. I played it against quite strong players. I played in the match against Martinez Alcantara, who's known commonly as Justin, one of the best Blitz players online and overboard as well. And okay, 4 through A3, take